Right here, Kingpin, and the name's Daredevil.
You would have to be a daredevil to challenge me.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're diving into the world of a hero who truly needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway, just in case you've been living under a rock. We're talking about Daredevil, the man without fear. What started as a freak accident, blindness became Matt Murdock's greatest strength. By day, he's a sharp lawyer fighting for justice in the courtroom. By night, he trades a suit for something a little more devilish, patrolling the streets of Hell's Kitchen as its masked protector. While he doesn't have the flashy, headlining grabbing abilities of flying or even super speed, Daredevil's heightened senses and combat skills make him a force to be reckoned with. And much like the comics, his live-action portrayals have evolved over the years, physically and in some cases mentally. So let's break down Daredevil's journey on screen and dive into his evolution to find out. Daredevil's first animated appearance dates back to the 80s when he stepped in as Spider-Man's lawyer because even superheroes need legal counsel when things go sideways. Here's the setup. A scientist named Zoltan somehow cracks the code on a spider serum after studying our favorite web slinger. Naturally, instead of using it for, say, groundbreaking medical research, he decides to impersonate Spider-Man and go on a crime spree to fund his experiments.
Now to begin Spider-Man's life of crime.
Classic villain move, with all the evidence pointing at Spidey.
Yes, it's true. Spider-Man has changed from a superhero to a super criminal.
The police waste no time throwing him behind bars. Enter Matt Murdock, ready to defend his client. He urges Peter to reveal his identity to clear his name, but Spider-Man refuses because, well, secret identities matter. Matt gets it. After all, he's got one of his own. We even get a quick cameo of him suited up as Daredevil, sporting a bright red costume with the yellow logo. Meanwhile, Spidey is stuck in jail, at least until he breaks out mid-battle with Scorpion. While he's busy handling that, Matt works the legal angle. Just as the police prepare to drag Spidey back to jail despite him saving the day, Matt swoops in just in time with a court order securing his freedom. And with that, it's back to business as usual for the wall crawler. Daredevil's live-action debut introduces Matt Murdock as a skilled lawyer by day and a relentless vigilante by night, taking on Wilson Fisk's criminal empire.
We're gonna pull it down someday, brick by brick, and him along with it.
Meanwhile, David Banner finds himself in serious trouble after hulking out to save a woman named Ellie from subway thugs. Once he transforms back, the police mistake him for the attacker and throw him in jail. Matt takes the case, unaware of Banner's big green secret, but knowing Fisk's men are behind it.
I have reason to believe they may be part of a team. Thieves and killers who work for a man named Wilson Fisk.
David is hesitant to cooperate, but Matt believes in his innocence.
Then you believe it?
I know the truth when I hear it. It's a compensation.
Investigating on his own, he finds Ellie and realizes she's in danger. That night, donning a sleek all-black suit instead of his classic red, Daredevil swoops in just in time, using his agility and baton to take down a would-be assassin. But Fisk doesn't go down that easily. He retaliates by kidnapping Ellie.
Where is she?
She's gone! She's gone!
Where the hell is she?
Matt urges David to stand trial to take Fisk down, but the stress causes a Hulk-sized prison break. Now Daredevil has to find him. Using his heightened senses, he hunts down Fisk's men, showcasing his radar-like spatial awareness. When he finally tracks Banner, he removes the mask and shares his own story, his accident, training, and secret war for justice, earning David's trust.
And that's what you're doing, fighting back?
To protect.
But you're an attorney. What about the law?
They've corrupted the law.
With their shared origins of radiation-fueled powers, the two team up to rescue Ellie. Daredevil is ambushed, but Hulk charges in to save him. That's when Matt finally puts it together. David is the Hulk. They storm Fisk Tower, fight through his men, and free Ellie. Fisk escapes because villains love a dramatic exit, but their mission is a success. With justice served, Daredevil and Hulk part ways, each knowing their battles are far from over. Enter his Marvel Animated Universe debut in the 90s when the Fantastic Four face a serious crisis After a nuclear explosion, they lose their powers. Fearing that their enemies will seize the opportunity to wipe them out, Alicia, Ben Grimm's girlfriend, turns to an old friend for advice, Matt Murdock.
I'm frightened for my friends and hoped you might have some advice.
Well, I actually might be able to help.
Ben, being Ben, isn't exactly sold on the idea. To him, a blind lawyer doesn't seem like the cavalry they need. Frustrated, he storms out. Alicia apologizes, but Matt, ever the humble one, takes no offense. He's used to being underestimated. Instead, he assures her that a friend will be on the case, and by friend, of course, he means Daredevil, this time back in his classic red suit. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four, now relying on high-tech suits to replicate their lost abilities, suddenly find themselves targeted by Dr. Doom. Daredevil swoops in just in time to help.
Elisa's friend Murdoch asked me to keep an eye on you.
Brushing off Ben's continued skepticism with his usual cool composure.
Now, if everyone's had their say...
When thick smoke blinds the team, Daredevil calmly guides them through, casually proving his real vision is sharper than theirs. Things escalate when the very machines redesigned to aid their missions turn against them. Trapped in a warehouse, Daredevil's heightened senses help them navigate and escape, convincing them to retreat to the Baxter building, while he stays behind to distract Doom. Armed with nothing but his billy club and razor-sharp awareness, he destroys a vortex sent after him, because who needs superpowers when you've got skill?
And if I don't make it, it's been a real slice of heaven, gang.
Jeez, Long John wearing show off.
While the Fantastic Four fight their way inside, Daredevil takes on Dr. Doom himself. But let's be real, Doom is Doom. Despite Daredevil's agility and precision, he's ultimately outmatched. Doom captures all 5 heroes, but just as things look bleak, the Fantastic Four regain their powers, break free, and escape before the building explodes.
Well, maybe he didn't get you, but I think your building's gonna need a whole lot of spackle.
A whole new building's probably more like it.
Then came his thrilling return in the 90s universe, stepping in to help Spidey during a crisis. Peter Parker finds himself framed for selling government secrets, and when he's arrested in his own home, he's shocked to learn that a blind lawyer named Matt Murdock is there to represent him.
I'm sorry. I've just never met a blind lawyer before.
Well, I've never met an accused traitor before, so we're even.
Hired by a mysterious benefactor, Matt's reputation precedes him, but despite having a top-notch lawyer, Peter is denied bail and plunged deeper into trouble. As if things couldn't get worse, the transport convoy is ambushed by Richard Fisk, Kingpin's son, who orchestrates Peter's frame-up. Locked in a cell designed to induce hypoxia, Peter struggles for air until, from the shadows, Daredevil arrives.
Murdoch sent me to get you out.
Who are you?
I'm called the Daredevil.
And this isn't just any version, this is peak Daredevil. His acrobatics, precision, and heightened senses are showcased like never before, making this one of his best animated adaptations to date. After saving Peter, Daredevil takes him to Matt's apartment to regroup.
Murdoch thinks you've been framed.
Oh, hold it! Where are you going?
The night is young, and there's work to be done.
There, he reveals his tragic backstory. An illegal shipment caused the accident that robbed him of his sight. His father's investigation into Kingpin's corruption led to his disappearance.
He was on his way to the police when... my dad was never seen again.
Though he hides the truth that it heightened his other senses.
I wish I could have told you the whole story, Parker. Told you about how the accident changed me.
And that ignited Matt's quest for justice. Now, he's resolved to clear Peter's name and take down Fisk once and for all. The two heroes unite, gathering evidence while dodging Kingpin's relentless henchmen. However, they soon discover that a traitor lurks within the FBI, jeopardizing their plans. With Kingpin's true identity exposed, Daredevil prepares for the long-awaited showdown. In a spectacular battle, Daredevil holds his own.
This time, the fight is mine!
But Kingpin proves to be a near unstoppable force, gaining the upper hand and ultimately escaping. Peter, however, is exonerated, and the mysterious benefactor behind Matt's involvement is revealed to be none other than J. Jonah Jameson.
Why won't you let me tell Parker that you paid for his defense?
It'd spoil my image. Besides, I don't want Parker getting the idea I like him.
As Daredevil prepares to leave New York, he assures Spider-Man of one thing: whenever the fight against Kingpin continues, he won't be facing it alone. Eventually, Daredevil makes a striking return to live action in his own film, opening with his origin story. Young Matt Murdock witnesses his father, a boxer, coerced into extorting money for a crime boss. In a panic, Matt runs away and is exposed to toxic chemicals that grant him heightened senses. As he learns to control his powers,
I was the boy without fear.
Tragedy strikes when his father is murdered for refusing to throw a fight, sending Matt on a path of vengeance. Fast forward, and Matt is now a lawyer alongside his best friend, Foggy Nelson, but when the law fails to protect the innocent, Matt dons his functional suit, which, let's be honest, could use a redesign. Matt lets a criminal die and leaves a signature mark, definitely channeling his inner Batman.
Can one man make a difference? There are days when I believe, and others when I have lost all faith.
Then, he meets Elektra, who distracts him from his mission. Complications arise when her father works for Kingpin, who hires Bullseye to take him out. Daredevil tries to save Elektra's father, but Bullseye is a little too good with his weaponry, killing him and framing Matt. Seeking vengeance, Elektra ambushes Daredevil, convinced he's responsible. After a fierce battle, the truth comes out.
Stop! It was a hitman named Bullseye! I didn't kill your father!
Leading to a complicated alliance. Just when they think they're on the same page, Bullseye returns, killing Elektra, and faces Daredevil in a climactic showdown. Despite being overwhelmed by loud sounds, Matt channels his inner warrior, discovering that Kingpin was behind his father's murder. Fueled by grief, he confronts Kingpin, defeats him, and surprisingly decides against killing him.
I don't understand. I'm not the bad guy.
Instead, he leaves Kingpin with a memorable remark before the authorities arrive to arrest him.
Where I tell them who you are.
Tell the guys at Rikers all about how you got beat by a blind man.
In his own series, Daredevil delivers the best adaptation of the character, showcasing his true strength, anger, and darkness. The show frequently shifts between the past and the present, but for simplicity's sake, let's take a linear journey through Matt's life. It all starts with his origin story, yet again.
I can't see!
After his father's tragic death, young Matt is sent to a Catholic orphanage, where nuns raise him, and his pain continues to grow as he struggles to control his powers. Enter Stick, a mysterious mentor who trains him to master his abilities. But things take a turn when Matt shows compassion, convincing Stick that he's not quite ready for more training.
I expected too much of you.
Eventually, Matt makes his way to law school, where he meets his best friend Foggy Nelson.
How do you say lawyers in Spanish?
Lawyers? Abogados.
El Grande Avocados.
And a well-known love interest, Elektra. With Elektra, he finds someone he can talk to about anything until they part ways, as relationships tend to do in superhero stories. After graduating, Matt and Foggy start their own law firm,
Nelson and Murdoch. Avocados at law.
But it was not till the law couldn't protect a girl from an abusive father that Matt realized that he could intervene.
You touch your daughter again, and I will know.
By day, he fights for justice in the courtroom, representing clients like Karen Page, who initially doubts them.
How long have you been practicing law?
It's 12:22 a.m.
About 7 hours.
But hey, who wouldn't? Though they soon become friends. By night, Matt dons a sleek black suit, swooping in to take down criminals when the law fails.
I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to answer them. If you're lying to me, trust that I will know.
His target? The man behind the curtain, Wilson Fisk. After some intense battles, he eventually gets his iconic red suit, ready to make his mark as the city's protector.
Daredevil. That's what they're calling him now. The man in the mask.
Things heat up when he encounters the Punisher, who takes a more lethal approach to fighting crime, but their clashes are epic. Just when Matt thinks he's got it all figured out, Elektra reappears, convincing him to team up against an evil organization known as the Hand. But the battle takes a devastating turn when Elektra is killed, and the fallout leads to the collapse of Matt and Foggy's law firm, due to Daredevil's chaotic influence. With everything that's happened, Matt decides it's time to retire the cowl, wanting to distance himself from the devil that haunts him, seeing it as a painful reminder of his losses.
I don't need him to be a part of me anymore. And I don't want him to be.
As time went on after Elektra's death, Matt has traded in his Daredevil suit for a solo law practice. Although he enjoys doing pro bono work, he can't shake the feeling that something's missing.
Crime rate's down. I really think that Daredevil may have made the city a safer place.
He might have.
One night, his heightened senses detect an earthquake, and hearing the chaos unfolding in Hell's Kitchen compels him to act, pulling him back into the lifestyle he had tried to leave behind. Meanwhile, Foggy reaches out, sending Matt files of families in need of justice. One case leads him to Jessica Jones, who refuses to cooperate.
Ms. Jones, may I ask how long you've been a PI?
No.
Are you always this rude to people trying to help you?
Curious, Matt follows her to one of the hand's secret bases, Midland Circle, where things get complicated fast.
Murdoch!
You need to leave now.
If you grab me like that again, I'll punch you so hard you see.
Listen, you are in serious danger.
In an epic convergence, Daredevil, Jessica, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist unite against the Hand, only for Matt to discover that Elektra is very much alive and working for them. Just when things seem to settle,
And the organization we just fought are powerful.
Yeah, who are they?
They call themselves the Hand. You crossed paths with them before?
Yeah.
Stick reappears, delivering the grim news that the Hand plans to overrun New York unless they band together. After Matt takes Karen and Foggy to safety, he dons the red suit once more to save Jessica.
The scarf looked better. Nice ears.
They're horns.
As the heroes regroup, Matt reveals the truth about Elektra.
Elektra died. That thing we've been fighting was something else.
She was resurrected.
Tensions run high as they decide to keep Danny hidden from the Hand, who aims to use his fist as a key. They discover that the Hand is digging a massive hole at the center of Midland Circle, hoping to reach something buried beneath. Just when they have a plan, Elektra strikes, killing Stick and kidnapping Danny. Determined to rescue Danny and put an end to the Hand, the heroes suit up for an all-out assault on Midland Circle. Daredevil suggests a bold plan: destroy the building to defeat the Hand once and for all.
The only way to end this, to save the city from whatever's coming, is to bring this building down. And that's exactly what we're gonna do.
He leads the charge, but insists on confronting Elektra alone. In a painful moment, Matt tries to reach Elektra.
Before you let me die.
No. Before they took you from me.
And they share a kiss as the building implodes around them. The heroes regroup with their allies, but for Karen and Foggy, the weight of losing Matt settles heavily upon them. Soon after the dramatic building collapse, the story focuses back to the character's roots. Matt is rescued by a taxi driver who takes him to his childhood orphanage. But he's not exactly thriving. He's lost his powers and faith, leaving him as broken as a cheap pair of glasses.
I'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock.
Thankfully, Father Lantom and Sister Maggie help him regain his sense of purpose. Once he gets his abilities back,
I brought you some.
Beef ravioli from Nona's. Nice.
Now you're just showing off.
he dons the iconic black suit again, because who needs colors when fighting crime? Unfortunately, Wilson Fisk is back in town, manipulating the feds and the system.
It's a damn shit show. The FBI just let Wilson Fisk out of prison.
Desperate to take him down for good, Matt reconnects with Foggy and Karen.
This isn't real.
It's real.
Urging them to stay safe because, let's face it, they're always in danger. As he investigates, Fisk learns Matt's identity and frames him as a criminal.
There's a criminal I've employed. A lawyer. Matthew Murdock.
Ready to clear his name, Matt discovers a Daredevil imposter is on the loose, taking out innocents and threatening Carrie and Foggy's key witness. After saving Foggy from this fake Daredevil, Matt faces a dilemma. Both he and Daredevil are wanted by the law.
NYPD has been advised. Citywide polo. Suspect Matthew Murdock to be considered armed and dangerous.
Teaming up with Special Agent Nadim, he uncovers that the imposter is Bullseye and learns that Maggie is his long-lost mother.
Keep him from making the same damn mistake that took you from us.
Our son is too much like you, Jack.
Their showdown leads to a tragic moment in a church when Father Lantom is killed. Regrouping with Karen and Foggy, Matt realizes he pushed them away.
Maybe I was wrong to push you away.
Okay, it's insanely hard to fight with you if you keep agreeing with me.
And hatches a new plan. But their attempt to get Agent Nadim to testify against Fisk flops when he corrupts the jurors. Frustrated, Matt contemplates murder, classic hero dilemma. In an epic showdown, he pits Bullseye against Fisk while protecting Vanessa from Bullseye's revenge. The ultimate battle comes down to Matt and Fisk, where Matt chooses mercy over vengeance.
Come on! Kill me! No! God knows I want you, but you don't get to destroy who I am!
Giving Fisk a stern warning, keep his secret and stay away from his friends, or Vanessa faces the consequences. As the series concludes, Matt embraces his dual identity as both Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and starts a new law firm with Foggy and Karen.
Oh, he just wrote all of our names, didn't he?
How can you know that?
Because I was thinking the same thing.
In one of the best animated superhero films, Daredevil makes his smallest cameo. It all begins with Kingpin's story. After prioritizing his empire over his family, they fled in fear and tragically died in a car crash. Not a day goes by without Kingpin recalling that fateful moment. So naturally, he attempts to get them back. With his vast resources,
you like my new toy? Cost me a fortune.
He enlists Alchemax and Dr. Octopus to create a super collider that can bridge dimensions. When activated, he could theoretically pull doppelgangers of Vanessa and Richard into his universe. Just as things are going according to plan, chaos erupts, and Spider-Man intervenes. Their battle shifts into the void between dimensions. In the midst of the fight, Kingpin notices glitching versions of his family and others from alternate realities. Among them, we briefly glimpse a young Matt Murdock with his mother Maggie. This suggests a universe where Kingpin married Maggie and raised Matt as his stepson. It's fascinating to consider the odds of arch-enemies becoming related. Perhaps in this alternate reality, there was no need for Daredevil, and thus no rivalry existed. Then came his entrance into the MCU, where Daredevil's adventures from the Netflix series are now largely considered canon. Following the London attack, Mysterio's failsafe was to expose Spider-Man's identity. As expected, law enforcement investigates and concludes that Peter is responsible for orchestrating the attack and Mysterio's death since Tony passed the drones to him. The Department of Damage Control arrests Peter for his alleged crimes, leading them to reach out to Matt. In his only scene, Matt successfully helps drop the charges against Peter, showcasing his legal prowess.
Well, I have some good news, Peter. I don't believe any of the charges against you are going to stick.
Wait, seriously?
Oh, I knew it.
Nice.
He then hints at Happy's potential legal troubles due to some missing technology, advising him to get a really good lawyer. As the conversation returns to Peter, Matt warns him that, despite solving his immediate legal issues, things are about to get worse. At that moment, he senses a brick being thrown and catches it with ease, surprising the others and Peter, who was also ready to catch it. Unaware of Matt's alter ego, they question how he caught the brick, to which he responds,
I'm a really good lawyer.
Since he's a really good lawyer, why would Happy choose another attorney? In a deleted scene, he represents Happy during a damage control interrogation. It's a fun Easter egg, especially since Jon Favreau, who plays Happy,
Stop sweating. How do you do that?
portrayed Foggy, Matt's partner, in the 2003 Daredevil film. In a show I wouldn't watch again, Daredevil makes a notable appearance in the only decent episode. It starts with Matt arriving late to a Los Angeles court as counsel for Luke Jacobson, a supersuit designer awfully similar to Edna Mode. Luke is being sued by Eugene, with She-Hulk as his attorney, over a defective leapfrog suit. With his enhanced senses, Matt quickly deduces that Eugene used jet fuel in the suit.
No, I didn't.
He's lying. Don't ask me how I know, I just know.
And since he ignored the manufacturer's instructions, the judge dismisses the case. Later, Matt shares drinks with Jennifer and discusses his new law firm with his friends, suggesting she could help people as a lawyer and as She-Hulk when the law fails.
You say that, but I think you're in a unique position to do some real good.
Awfully similar to what he does. However, he receives a call revealing that Eugene has kidnapped Luke and rushes off to confront Leapfrog. When She-Hulk intervenes, thinking he's harming her client, Daredevil, sporting a new gold and red suit, has a brief fight with her.
Now I'm gonna whoop your ass.
My ass remains unwhooped.
Until she realizes her mistake and they team up.
Why were you attacking my client?
Leapfrog is the bad guy here. He kidnapped Luke Jacobson. He's holding him hostage.
At Leapfrog's hideout, Daredevil sticks to the shadows and showcases his fighting skills, reminiscent of the Netflix hallway battles. Unfortunately, Jennifer's interference disrupts his rhythm. They eventually free Luke and defeat Leapfrog. But their adventure takes a romantic turn before he heads back to New York. In the finale, he returns when all conflict is resolved.
Jen, I'm here to help.
Hey, Daredevil. You missed it. We're done. Sorry.
Everything? Oh, man.
Joining Jennifer at a family barbecue, where he faces the typical boyfriend questions from her family.
I've always wanted to help the people in my neighborhood who can't afford legal services.
So you don't make a lot of money.
I don't do it for the money.
But you do make some money, right?
Dad.
Before his She-Hulk cameo, Daredevil had a brief but impactful scene in Echo. For context, the series follows Maya Lopez, who becomes an enforcer for Kingpin after her father's death. On her first mission, she and two of Kingpin's men raid a warehouse, wiping out a gang to reclaim his territory. That's when Daredevil makes his entrance. Having been on a stakeout all night, he's furious at their intrusion.
I've been watching them all night. And then you guys show up.
Wielding his billy clubs, he charges in, leading to an intense one-shot fight sequence. Realizing Maya is no ordinary opponent, he shifts to hand-to-hand combat. Even with interference from Kingpin's men, he disarms and subdues her before vanishing. Though his appearance lasts only 2 minutes, it solidifies his presence in the MCU. Nearly 30 years later, Daredevil returns to the 90s animated universe. Though brief, his cameos are a treat for comic book fans. He's not the only non-mutant superhero to appear, but his moments are memorable. During a telepathic battle between Professor X and Magneto that disrupts the planet, Daredevil is in action, stopping thieves in a dark neighborhood just before the power returns. Later, when Bastion unleashes Prime Sentinels to wipe out mutants and injures innocents caught in the crossfire, Daredevil steps in but is quickly overpowered, crashing through a window. Thankfully, Cloak and Dagger arrive to help, and with the X-Men's interference, the Sentinels lose control, allowing Daredevil and others to recover. In the new hit animated series, a break-in at Oscorp leads Norman Osborn to send his ally Spider-Man to investigate. Arriving on the scene, Spidey notices the guards have been taken out with precision, but initially misses a shadowy figure escaping. At first, you would expect Black Cat, given the break-in is her MO, though he follows the thief, only to discover it's Daredevil, as a remix of his Netflix theme plays. Voiced by the live-action Daredevil actor, Charlie Cox.
This stuff is sticky.
Yeah, it's web. I'm a spider, it's kind of my thing. Isn't that obvious?
Not from my perspective.
This version of Daredevil dons a black and red suit we've never seen before. Spidey tries to stop him, but Daredevil evades his webs, leading to an acrobatic rooftop fight that feels ripped straight from the comics, complete with humor and banter.
Definitely top 5 super battles for me. What about you?
I don't really keep track, kid. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Daredevil cryptically warns that Spidey's youth and inexperience blinds him to Norman's secrets before using a ricochet to knock him out and vanish.
I'm trying to help you understand what's really going on. Osborn is hiding something.
Later, Norman suspects the thief was after files linked to his employer, Dr. Otto Octavius. The way he fought, Spidey doubts Daredevil is working for Otto, and as viewers, we know there's more to his story, hopefully setting up future appearances. The next chapter in Matt's MCU story picks up a while after where his series left off. While the show hasn't been released yet, the teasers and trailers give us plenty to discuss. Matt is back in Hell's Kitchen, still doing pro bono work by day, but at night, the devil returns. However, at some point, he seems to retire the suit, likely after the tragic loss of someone close to him, possibly Foggy.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed.
Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk is now the mayor of New York, with his own hidden agenda. Daredevil will battle Bullseye again, and even reunite with the Punisher. New faces enter the mix, including White Tiger, and the terrifying Muse, a serial killer who turns his victims into gruesome artwork. Muse is said to be a major threat, but whether he's the biggest remains unclear. One thing is certain, something catastrophic may force Matt to face Fisk again, or into an uneasy alliance with him as he must weigh the greater good against his vendetta. The trailer also teases a collection of different masks, hinting that we might see multiple Daredevil suits in action, something fans have been hoping for. The series looks darker, grittier, and more intense, which justifies its mature rating. And after the behind-the-scenes touch-ups to the original script, it's clear the reshoot saved the show from what could have been a disaster. I mean, they're already shooting season 2 right now, so something must have gone right. And that wraps up every appearance of Daredevil across movies, shows, and animation so far. But which adaptation was your favorite? Grab your mask, swing to the comments, and let me know. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks again to my patrons, and I'll catch you in the next one.